Hey, welcome back, folks. You might recall this property. Couple of months back, I asked for some permissions to metal detect this, and the property owner said it was okay. And when I went on it, I brought my camera. He wanted to know what I was going to be doing with the camera, and I told him, well, I have a YouTube channel, and I'm going to put it on YouTube. And his concern was, well, you know, he really didn't want a lot of people knowing where his property was, and, you know, if I found anything really good, which I did, and I will share with you, he didn't want a flood of people coming to his property and start digging. So he let me. I do have a relationship with this gentleman. He's about 82 years old, and he's the one that's told me this used to be an old lumber mill. So again, I'm going to go ahead and try to shoot through these and see if we can see the actual property. There's an old barn, and I don't know if we can see through that. I'm right at the edge of the property. You can see where the gate is. There we go. And what I'll do is I'm going to actually move up on the property line. All right, stand by. All right, I think we can see where the barn is, or was. That's a rebuilt on this side. Again, this property used to be an old lumber mill. I don't know if I'm actually calling it the right word. I think it was a lumber depot more so than a mill, because they didn't really do any sawing of logs here. The logs that came to the depot were already cut, and they would depot and warehouse these logs and distribute them to various carriers. But I think you can see that particular, the roof of that building there, and there's two other buildings along beside that. I won't be able to show you those again. I do respect the owner's rights, and you know, if he's going to be granting me permissions, it's going to be according to his rules. So I will show you what I found. I did share one or two of these items in a previous video. We'll do a recap on those, and we'll go from there. All right. On to the next one. Okay, folks, here's the first item that I found in a shed leaned up against the wall. Actually, it was in the corner of a wall with a bunch of scrap just piled up on it. I didn't need my metal detector to find it, but I was cleaning out a path to detect, and it had a bunch of old lumber boards. This is my first find. Now, they have since taken out the floor of one of the buildings, and as soon as they take out another section, they're going to also take down a part of another building. The landowner will give me permission to go ahead and detect that. So I'm waiting for that. He said that it'll be done in about another 2 months, but in the meantime, I'm going to share with you what I've already got. Now, I've already filmed this particular item in a previous video. This is, I believe, you know, with all the research I've done on this, this is a Meridian B Company model number 1387. I believe it's referred to as a bridesmaid bouquet. And you know, the bridesmaid back then, I think it's from 1886, so it's quite old, in great condition. I haven't touched it, I haven't cleaned it, so it's a really nice antique. It is silver plate and not sterling, but it is pretty old. So as far as I can tell, this is again a bridesmaid bouquet. And they had several types of these back then. They had one of the bouquets that, you know, you can lift up the centerpiece, and there was, you know, candy and gum and refreshments. And then I believe this one is for the cigarettes. They had a couple of other ones that had ice cubes in it. And again, this was extra fancy back then in the 1880s. What we think of fancy, in current days, compared to back then, is just worlds apart. Imagining going to an outdoor wedding and one of the bridesmaids coming up to you and having one of these and offering you an ice cube or a thin mint or a sweet some type, so it just boggles your mind. So let me get another, try to get in closer, and I'll go ahead and remove the lid. This is where ribbon would hang off of. Really cool handle. I'm just going to go ahead and take this. I believe this was an ashtray because the center part comes out like this. And you can see basically the interior there. So it's very shallow. There's some clip-ons. This one's kind of broke off. I'll remove that. There's no identification marks in the top, which is I think kind of unique. Let me go ahead and get a closer shot. Stand by. So yeah, it's it looks like an ashtray, and there's the lid, and I think that center piece is for that center hole is for the ashes to go down to the bottom. And there's a nice twisted handle on that. So yeah, it's a Meriden B Company Model 13. I believe it says 87 or 47. It's kind of hard to find. Silver plate, bridals made bouquet, and I believe it's the one that they go around, and if you're smoking pipes or cigars or cigarettes, they would come and you would use that, and instead of flicking it in the yard or so, or in the house. Kind of cool. Again, I found that in the first shed. There's actually 3 sheds on the property, and they're all in bad shape. Again, this lumber depot goes back to the 1870s, so real early 1873, 1874 or so. And then the other 2 buildings were built in the 1890s. And I got that from the landowner. Okay, I'm going to follow it up with a couple of other pieces, and then go into some detecting footage. On to the next one. Okay, the next item is a Sterling candlestick holder. I found 3 of these in the same shed. Unfortunately, none of them matched, so it was only part of a set. It doesn't have anything on it in terms of a manufacturer's or maker's mark. It is stamped Sterling. I will go ahead and turn that over, and we'll take a look at that. But this is kind of nice, and again, it was in the corner, very close to where that bridal made bouquet was, except for this was actually partially buried in the dirt. Again, half of the floor was missing, so the floor had rotted out, and again, as mentioned previously, they're going to go ahead and take that out, and then probably take down one of the buildings. Really nice though, real heavy, nice nice candle holder. I probably should weigh that, although they do have sand in it or lead pellets, so it probably wouldn't be an accurate weight assessment. Let me go ahead and show you the bottom, and we'll take a look at the stamp there. I don't know if you can see that, but that's where it's stamped. Let me go ahead and zoom in on that. And it says sterling weighted, but that is indeed silver. And so my heart leapt out when I saw this. I was like, okay, cool, not damaged. Just, you know, had a lot of dirt and dust on it. I haven't cleaned it, which I don't think I will. Again, I don't know how old it is, but it does have that 1800s look. And so I'll stay with that, seeing that the Bridals Made bouquet, the silver clad bouquet, and all the other candle holders are, you know, dated in that time period. All right, on to the next one. Okay, this next piece was found very close to the other two pieces. This is a piece from Empire. It is a sterling candle holder. It's dated 1889, I believe. It does say sterling on the back and Empire, but it's so weak. I tried looking at it. I had to use a loupe to pick it up. So I'm not going to try to show it to you, to the viewers. You're just going to have to trust me. But this is a sterling piece. Again, this was semi-buried. It was actually between two walls. And it's dented up quite a bit, so you can see a very large dent here, but it seems to be quite heavy. And you know, this is a quality piece, or at least it was in its day, and definitely an antique. Again, could only find one. I don't know where the other is. I want to go back, and again, as soon as the landowner grants me permission, I'll go back and check to see if I can find the other set. So with that being the case, let's go on to the next one. Okay, this is the last candle holder. This is a candle holder from National Sterling, circa 1882, and it's stamped as such on the bottom. It's the smallest of the three. It weighs the less, but it's the most intricate. Now, you probably are wondering why there's candle holders in a barn or a warehouse or a shed. Well, it's because there wasn't electricity back in those times, and you know, oftentimes you'd carry a big lantern, but just as often, you know, the homeowners and property owners would carry all these candle holders. They'd stick a candle in there and light one candle, and you know, bingo, instant flashlight, right? So that's why I'm finding all of these candle holders. When again, the disappointment there is not any sets, but just individual ones. Again, I will go back and I'll have at it and see if I can find the matching sets for all three of these. A little bit smaller, but look at this. Look at the intricate design on this. This is just absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Scallop edging and beadwork or pearl work. And then kind of, you know, I'm not even sure what to call that, but that's pretty neat. Let me go ahead and tip it over, and we'll take a look at the maker's mark on the bottom. And I don't know if you can see that, but that's the maker's mark. It says NS Sterling, weighted, I believe, and then inside it's got the actual patent year. Again, pretty neat. Nice little candle holder, Sterling. Found three of them. Again, these came from the old lumber mill, lumber depot property. And shortly after this, what I'll do is I did do some digging around the property. I did find a few items. It's, they're mostly ground shots. So again, the property owner didn't want me to do any real blatant filming and then post it on YouTube. So everything's pretty much a secluded shot. All right, on to the next one. Hey folks, you got the Hell Deep Digger here, and I'd like to introduce you to my all-purpose and safe Mojo Mist, a powerful cleaner that tackles tough buildup on old coins and relics. I'll tell you, when you're out there metal detecting and you dig that once-in-a-lifetime find, you owe it to yourself to be using the best and safest cleaner out there. Don't be fooled. Hell Deep's own Mojo Mist is safe on all surfaces and will not affect or alter the value of any potential find. So take it from the Hell Deep Digger, because you never know what you're going to find. Hell Deep's own Mojo Mist.
How deep are you going down today, baby?
Hell deep.